So you done all the work. You put your resume in, did all the things you needed to do. You've gotten all your references together. You even put together a cover letter, and now you did it, right? You got an interview. Now what? Today we're going to talk about how to prep for an interview. Stay tuned.
And I've been chosen by my state, feel like, look, wait, I'm not the 2-3, I was picked first, I'm the, wait. And I've been traveling around my country for a minute. Every state I go, I find rings. I feel like I'm LeBron James. In Cleveland, this for you, it gotta be, homie. I'm from the land, so understand my people gotta be hungry.
Yo, this is Coach Boz. Remember, I am a two-time college dropout who turned a entry-level job into a 10-year career in less than 6 months, and I think I can do the same thing for you. Today, I kind of want to talk about getting into your interview, and I think one of the most stressful parts of prepping for an interview is deciding what to wear. Now, when I turned on the camera, I had no idea what I wanted to talk about today at all. And then when I looked at myself in the camera, I said, you know what? We did a little fashion stuff today. Let's talk a little bit about fashion. And so there's a lot of things, right? I think how you dress for a job is way different than how you dress for an interview. And so some of the things that I kind of do in my interviews, I want to talk through that a little bit. I want to talk about how to prepare for certain things and just how to ace the interview in general. Hopefully we don't do it in a long period of time. But the first thing we're going to talk about is your appearance and what to wear. Now, if you're going for an interview, I suggest you don't wear something like this. One of the things, like when I'm hiring for somebody, when I pay attention to what they're wearing, some of the things I'll think of are like, is this really who they are? Or are they just putting on for the interview? Or is this consistent? Are they going to start wearing sweats after they get hired? So those are all things I think about when I'm about to hire someone. So a couple things I would say on one end of the spectrum on a thing I would say not to wear. And again, this doesn't mean I wouldn't hire a person, but it is to say there are different levels as to, like, how do I say this? If I have multiple people and it's like a tie between the two, every detail matters. Every single detail matters. Was this person late to the interview? Were they super early to the interview? All of these things matter when trying to split hairs between two really good or decent applicants, right? And the same thing, like I might say no to a person based off of like those little tiny details, right? So when I'm dressing for a job interview, especially if I'm just like not sure of the vibe of the interview, what I would, or the vibe of the job per se, I like to wear a casual shoe. Well, it's a dress shoe, but it's not like a dressy shoe. It's not like a shoe I would wear at like an event, right? It's a shoe that I would wear anywhere, but it is still like a dress shoe. So, yeah, I guess you start with the foundation, right? So I wear a dress shoe. I have some, like, maybe I'll put like a little picture somewhere of the kind of shoes that I will wear, but something casual, but that also shows that you're professional. Like your regular wear, your comfort wear is still like adult. I'm a person, like, I always have a little splash on my outfit. So if it's not the shirt, it's the socks. I would say definitely wear socks on an interview. Don't worry about like the kind of socks, especially depending on where you're going. Now, if you're trying to be like an investment banker or something like that, maybe not the cat socks, all right? Maybe not the socks with like hamburgers on it. But if you have like some polka dots, some stripes, maybe some colors that aren't necessarily like matching what you're wearing, like I think a little pop, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I think it can be a good talking point in an interview. So socks, I would definitely say, do a little extra with the socks, but not so extra. And we'll talk about why. Next, with the pant, I would definitely not do jeans on an interview. Again, no matter what interview you really, or what kind of work you're really interviewing for, I personally would not do jeans on an interview, in any interview. if you wear jeans, even if you're like working, like, even if you're like interviewing to be a plumber, right? Like, I would say still don't wear jeans, right? Even though you'd wear jeans every single day, still don't wear jeans for an interview, in my personal opinion. Now, what I would do as an alternative is like sometimes they'll have like I wear Levi's. It's just what I do. Like pretty much every pair of pants, most pairs of pants I own are Levi's. So I do have Levi's slacks, and I do also have Levi's jeans. And then some of those slacks have like worker type pants. And so interview, I think you can never go wrong with a pair of khakis. It shows, hey, like I take this seriously, but also I'm not going overboard. I know the role I'm interviewing for. This is the way I dress. So that's great. And then as far as a shirt goes, I would say a polo, something like, I don't want to say necessarily discreet. Like it could be a different color polo, any color polo really, but a polo is a good choice. I would also say like a pullover sweater over like a button up, but unbuttoned, like no tie. I think that's a nice, cool, calm way to make a first impression. Now for me, I would also say, I wouldn't say clean shaven, but just something that you can maintain. I would say present yourself the way you would want to show up on any day, right? So for instance, like right now, my haircut isn't fully grown in. Sometimes some of it is hard to see. It's not fully grown in. Would I wear my facial hair like this to an interview? Probably not. Like this would probably be sharper. This would probably be sharper. I would also say maybe like the hair is fine, but I would probably fade this in a little bit. And just line this up, right? Like I wouldn't go super clean cut, and I'll tell you why in just a second. And also for me, like I do wear earrings, so I just keep my earrings in. Some of that is a vibe check. And so some of what I'm saying, like, again, it is risky, and I'll be honest with the things that I'm saying are risky. Like the thing I said about the shoes, that's not risky. The socks can be risky, but nothing crazy. I would still hire someone with socks, with like nice socks or funny socks, but it could be risky. Khakis, not risky. A polo, not risky. Pullover sweater, not risky. A pullover sweater with no button up underneath, not risky. Like dressing like you are, I'm trying to think, like going anywhere nice, but not overdressing. Why is that important? That's a great question. I'm so happy you asked. You want to dress in a way that you can actually keep up with. Like the last thing you want to do is appear to be acting away, like acting as if you're going to be away that you're not. The last thing, as a person that's hiring you. So what I do, I'm really good at interviews, probably too good at interviews. And so one of the things I do is I'm looking for your ceiling and I'm looking for your floor, right? I think the best way, and maybe we can have a conversation, like you can hear this and maybe get some hiring tips as well. But you're not looking for perfection. You're just looking for something that you can like predict a little bit, right? Prediction. Not perfection, prediction, right? You want to find, okay, what is this person like on their worst day? What is this person like on their best day? And am I okay with both of those extremes, right? If you're okay with both of those extremes, to me, that's a good hire. Like, don't overthink it. Could you do better? Possibly. But are you okay with them on their best day? And are you okay with them on their worst day? If the answer is yes, and you've been interviewed and like you have a gut feeling, I will also say trust your gut, then the answer is yes, move with it. Right. And so for anyone preparing for an interview, I would say dress like you are presenting the best version of yourself, but also, and I know this feels like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, I kind of am, right? You want to dress in a way that stands out, but also in a way that's normal, regular, like your regular, whatever your regular is, right? So this is a shirt that I will wear on any given day. It truly is. Now, most places they'll have a dress code. They'll tell you what the dress code is. But in 2026, honestly, like I've gone from, I obviously entered the workforce. This isn't obvious. I entered the workforce 20 years ago, right? And so, interviewing for like a food place is way different than interviewing for like a factory, than interviewing for like an office job, right? And so when I first got into office jobs, it was button up, tie, like actual like slacks, like you had to be dressed up, no screen print shirts, nothing crazy like that. I started like getting into the like printed world, the printed shirt world it was just like plaid, like different plaids. Then from different plaids, it went from different plaids to like different small patterns, like repeated patterns or polka dots. Then it went from polka dots to like stripes. And then it went from like the small patterns to like bigger repeated patterns, like different types of flowers, right? And then one day I would just like play around with patterns. Like if you see me, you'll see me with like the block shirt. I just like this look, right? But like one half of the shirt will be one color and one half will be another color, or the whole thing will be like big patterns. That's just how I like to dress. That's my normal, but it's in line with the dress code. Would I do that for an interview? Heck no, I would not, for multiple reasons. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm trying to stand out more than I am. I want my interview and my resume to really do all the work. I want to, it's almost like when you're cooking, you don't want to use too much. Like when you're cooking for yourself, you season it the way you want. When you don't know everybody's palate, who you're cooking for, say you're cooking for a big group of people, you lay off the salt. They can add it as they want, but you want to make it palatable for everybody at the table. And to me, again, I want to be very clear. As a black man, I'm not going to limit myself in any situation, which is one of the reasons why I keep my earrings in. Is it risky? Absolutely. Do not hear me say like, do whatever I do. Like, I'm telling you what I do. I keep my earrings in. I know I interview well. And they're not like a crazy like situation, right? Like these are hoops that hug my lobes. And so like, there's nothing like super crazy about them. And honestly, with my beard here, you don't see them head on, but I present myself the same way I'm presenting myself here is the same way I present myself in an interview, and my resume. Right. So those are a couple things like I would say. There's so much more. I'll probably go into further detail about this later on. But the other thing that I wanted to kind of address is how to deal with the interview, right? So this part will be very, very quick. We'll go into details about like interview questions, but a couple of things that you want to take care of, right? I think that accessories like watches are good. And I think if you're going to use cologne, use half as much as you normally do. I don't know who that's for, but use half as much as you normally do, right? Enough to where, and I just put it on, and maybe I'll have a whole video on how to like present yourself as a man, like, but you just want to put it on pulse points. And so I usually do like one squirt here, one squirt. Sometimes it's just one. My cologne's kind of strong, so I'll put one squirt here, and I'll dab my wrist together, and I'll like dab the top of my wrist. It's good to put, it's good to put cologne on your hands because like when you're especially when you talk with your hands, it like wafts the fragrance around. And then I'll put some on my neck, right? So sometimes I'll do a spray on my wrist, touch like this, and then like put some on my neck like that so I don't overdo it. That's usually enough to where you can smell it on my collars. You can smell it when I'm in a room. It's enough to where people know it's there, but it's not so much that it's so loud that nobody can hear themselves, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, I think we're going to make a part 2. we're going to make a part 2. We just talked about how to present yourself for the interview, as far as your appearance. Next time, we're going to talk a little bit about how to engage in an interview. Sometimes it can be hard for people. So we'll talk about that on the next video. But in the meantime, if you like this content, like the video, comment, subscribe only if you find this helpful. If you think everything I'm saying is garbage and I don't know what I'm talking about, put that in the comments below. And honestly, that's it. That's all I got. And we're going to try to make this short every time. But it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
And I've been chosen by my state, feel like, look, wait, I'm not the 2-3, I was picked first, I'm the, wait. And I've been traveling around my country for a minute, every state I go, I find rings, I feel like I'm LeBron James.